know, raising young girls with a healthy self-esteem is not easy. It is not easy in today's world. Unrealistic images of models, well, they're everywhere. And there are more ways than ever to be bullied these days. So here with some tips to help us navigate through it all is clinical therapist Dr. Lyndsay Elliott. We welcome you to the show. It's an amazing topic that really just, you can't speak enough about it.
Absolutely. And having a daughter of my own, I'm certainly very keenly aware of what an emotional responsibility is in raising her. So what you want to do is, starting from when they're really small, and you can do it from the time that they're babies, is really instilling a sense of capability and expectations in them, that they're always going to be kind to others, that they're always going to share, that they're always going to pick up cleanup. And really creating that foundation for them, because as time moves on, you know, academics are going to be such a focus for them.
So when we talk about the academics, though, let's be honest, a lot of times there's like, it's all or none.
Right,
you know?
right.
It's like super hardcore emphasis on your academics, or let's just embrace the warm fuzzies of you just being you.
Right.
The balance is hard to strike.
Balanced intelligence is so important. So if you're creating that foundation from when they're really small, and then you're shifting to where their academics are as they go through school, but then also having it be well-rounded when they're teenagers, and being kind to others, and always telling the truth, and always, you know, having a sense of integrity and purpose is so important for them to feel like, okay, I can do this. I have a sense of mastery. I can handle my peers and all of peer pressure, and I can make the very best mistakes possible.
But don't you feel as though that, I would say, I mean, maybe I'm just being the glass half full girl, but I would say the majority of parents of young women, they do try their very best. They really do try to do the right thing with their girls.
Sure, and they are...
Where do they go wrong?
Well, and there's so much pressure, and with girls especially, they always want to be the most popular. They always want to be well-liked by their peers, and that creates an atmosphere of, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? Am I able to please my parents, but also able to please my friends at the same time? And having them be able to have a healthy, critical mind, confronting their friends, you know, being assertive without being aggressive, and always telling the truth, to know, you know, what you can handle. And I tell parents who I consult with my clinical practice, you know, always encourage your girls to tell the truth. You can handle whatever the situation is if you tell the truth.
So as parents, then we have to be willing to hear the truth spoken to us.
Right, and also to admit when we've made a mistake of our own, right? Which is so hard for parents to do, to admit when they've done something wrong.
Well, when you talk about doing something wrong, there are a lot of parents, very well-intentioned parents, whose children, for whatever reason, I mean, that's probably a question for a clinical psychologist to address, but for whatever reason, they are the ones who are the bully, even if they come from the best homes.
Right.
And bully is just such a strong word. I even hate labeling those girls, because they come from families that, you know, they may not be able to help it. But how can you help to correct those mistakes that stem from the parent or the child or wherever they stem from?
Right, well, and that's the whole thing, is you have to figure out where it stems from. So if someone's being bullied, likely they're not feeling very good about themselves, and that's where early intervention, where you see them, if they're being mean to small children, obviously you want to intervene when it's really small. That's why, like in our family, we always have the expectation that you are always going to be kind to others. Always, no matter what. You're always going to stand up for people who are maybe in a vulnerable position like you're talking about.
Okay, so we've been talking specifically with girls. I'm a mom of 2 boys. Is that a game changer in some of these concepts?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I think girls, there's just so much more of an emotional responsibility. I mean, I have a son as well, and I know there's a huge emotional responsibility there. Sometimes, though, with boys, you know more of what you're getting, where girls, they always try to present like they have everything going on, and they're doing everything really well.
Right.
So it's a little bit more secretive with girls at times.
I see. I'm glad I don't live in the world of secrets. Just glad. I know exactly what my son feels when the little brother smacks the big brother.
And that's the thing, is kids don't realize that parents are much smarter than they give them credit for.
And sometimes we don't give ourselves credit enough for being kind of tuned into our kids. Thank you for these reminders. Thank you for these practical applications.
So important for parents.
And kind of just the okay to make a mess of things and clean it up.
Right, absolutely.
We're going to have some of these tips, 5 of them, in fact, on SonoranLiving.com, as well as contact information for Dr. Lyndsay as well.